Welcome to Network Today. We're excited. We're
I'm
always
pumped
excited.
up.
You're pumped.
I'm pumped.
So I'm
Pump me
Cheryl
up.
Powers.
Boom.
And he's pumped up. He's Rob Bliss.
I'm Rob Bliss.
So I know you're pumped up. And we're all about taking you from meeting people to making money.
To making money.
Yeah, that's right. So if
Don't
you
forget
haven't,
that.
if you haven't, that's an important part, because that's what we're all built on, right? It's nice to make friends, but if you're not making money, you're out of business like pretty quickly. So we're going to help you shorten that long game because it is a relationship game. You'll hear that a lot during episodes. Our episode is on discipline, right? So each episode is themed. We've got an amazing guest. I can't wait to.
This guy is brilliant.
Yeah, he is. And he really just kind of recrafted for me what discipline means.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, he's kind of like he's a former Marine.
Yeah.
Been in the banking industry. So where he's had to, learn that, been taught it, practiced, and he's been very, very successful in his career. So
yes,
he is the man to talk about discipline.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you had something interesting to say in that you felt discipline was a negative term.
Yeah, I'm a sales guy. I'm always want to be pumped up, want to be, happy, good, positive mental attitude. So when someone slams in discipline, I kind of,
When I get into the networking military.
So, we're going to learn about, with JC, but, when he brought up the word curious.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Uh-oh. But, I'll stop there then.
Okay.
Okay.
That's right. Let's don't bury the headline, whatever that means. But yes. So you're going to love hearing from JC. But I want to ask you if you have a moment these past several weeks or days that really said, hey, I have embraced this disciplinary action in networking that's really been beneficial to me, or this is an area I really need to work on. Something come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. I said, I'm working very hard at this part of my networking because, again, I've learned to time block on my Outlook calendar. I've now disciplined myself not to leave at the end of the day until I've gone through my daily task list. But I mean, I've had to work at it, Cheryl. I mean, I'm an ID on the DISC chart, and so I'm off the charts where my mind is. I do not dot the I's, cross the T's. And so this whole thing of studying about discipline has really been a major factor in helping me become a better networker.
It is kind of tough when you're creative like you are. So you're creative, you're also in a technical business, you're running multiple businesses, you've got, employees and clients and customers and, demands. You're a dad, a granddad, a husband, a friend. And so discipline comes into play. I mean, it's the only way you can really get through life. And we never really stop learning that though, do we?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, discipline, again, not in my personality traits. I've got to work on it every day. And again, when you surround yourself with people like yourself and the JCs and the Russells and the Jamies, it helps you're being held accountable by them. And that's such a good thing.
Yeah. I like the word discipline. Now, again, my dad is Marine, so I kind of grew up with that. You if you achieve discipline in your daily life, then you've kind of arrived, right? So everything was about discipline. And so I like it and it's really been so helpful for me in so many areas. And I can tell you that one of the things that really jumps out to me in networking discipline and why it's important to be disciplined, because you have to treat it like a business. That means you can't necessarily just take time off, right? It's a daily task. It's ongoing. And I had a situation where I'd committed to, because I have yes in my heart, to an event, to a networking event. But I ended up working from home that whole day. So I wasn't believe it or not, wasn't all dressed up. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have to drive through Dallas traffic and get dressed up and go blah, blah, do my hair. So other than Zoom hair, I got to do my hair. But I'd already committed. So I'm a person of my word. And so I went. I met some of the greatest people. And when I got there, I had to admit, hey, I almost bailed. but I didn't fail because that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there's fruit at the end of that.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah.
There is fruit at the end of that. So that's, discipline is all about churning during those times when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. So important, and I think that's a lesson to be learned. I just finished a book a couple of weeks ago called "Make My Bed," and again by a Navy SEAL, and how when you're in first thing that when they get up in the morning, they drill sergeant makes them have that perfect bed.
Yeah.
But it's learning again that discipline of doing it every single day, and they develop that long-term habit. They all go on to become successful business people.
Yeah, there is something about that. Oh man, my dad and I used to have that was a major deal. Why do I have to make my bed? I'm just going to sleep in it again at night. But it is part of that practicing that helps you to develop perfection in certain areas, right? So that's good. So we're talking about a subject that might feel, at least for Rob, unfun.
Unfun.
I love it. So because of that, we want to make sure we also focus on the positive stuff. So when we come back, we're going to talk about our grand slams, which are big home runs that we've had over the past couple of weeks recently in the networking world. So we'll share that with you here in just a minute. You're smart. You're watching this. But did you know that 2 out of every 3 Americans will deal with a legal issue this year? Half of those will spend 13 days working on those issues. At Empowered Advantage, we help with the stuff of life. Letter M as in marvelous, poweredadvantage.com. All right, and we're back, and we're here to talk about grand slams. So grand slams being something that really successful came out of a networking relationship.
Absolutely. And I knocked it out of the park again this week, Cheryl.
Okay.
Well, I went to Mid-Market Professionals West, hosted by the famous Jack Kearney. God, I love that guy.
I know.
He is so smart. And, how he deals with business owners and helping them, improve their business and then get it ready for sale and get maximum dollars. He is so smart.
He's like a Navy SEAL of business. He has a legal background.
Right.
I think he had his law degree at some point. And then he's got a financial background. And then I think he was an aerospace engineer or something.
He's just smart.
Yeah, he is.
And again, he's put together this great organization over in Fort Worth with your help. And you two guys have done a fantastic job. He's got about 30 to 40 people out there. I went, last week, and my success story was the fact I met somebody there that I hadn't seen in a couple of years, Cindy Wright. And so we reconnected this week. She came to my office and we had our one-on-one and so on. And then as we're talking, she needs her website redeveloped, and she's got a friend that she wants to introduce me to her on her website. So that was awesome. Then, I scheduled a one-on-one with someone I didn't know from the group. I met a competitor there, Jessica Gruber, who's an awesome, awesome woman, very talented. And again, and this is what I like about meeting competitors, is that you can turn it into an opportunity where you can make it win-win for both of you because we don't know everything.
Right.
And so then if you can develop a friendship, now you can sort of collaborate and help each other. And that's again what I love about networking and meeting those kind of people where, yes, we're competitors, but we can collaborate to help one another. So it was just, again, Jack's doing a great job of running that. And I look forward to going back again.
Yes. Well, and to your point, when I hear people say, oh, I don't want to go in that room, there's too many people who do what I do, then you have no idea what you do, because everybody should specialize in certain areas, right? So certain size companies, certain geographic areas. And if nothing else, there comes the point where you just can't take all business, right? Maybe it's just a personality conflict. But if you don't have a back pocket full of good referrals that you can count on, I mean, you're not the resource for your clients.
Yeah. That's correct.
So it's really such a sad mindset, because I do know people who are like that. Oh, I don't want to give up my trade secret.
Yeah, they're limiting themselves.
Yeah, they are. So you really do have a good mindset. So mine is, the trunk of this tree started very, very, very long time ago, back in the 90s in my radio days. And I'm bad about this. I don't really like to go back and revisit the old days and sit around and yuck about, oh, blah, blah. I'm just not one. I'm always moving forward. I'm thinking about, hey, what new project can we work on? I'm thinking about that. But with that, we're all on LinkedIn, right? Hopefully, if you aren't, you better get on LinkedIn. So a girlfriend from ye old days in radio, she reaches out to me because she's going through kind of a professional life change. And she asked if we could get together. And I said, yeah, let's get together. But then there's also this networking meeting that follows directly after. So just hang out with me. And then she invites 3 friends, people that I also knew in the business. It ended up being the greatest night. So one that I might dread otherwise, right? Because I don't want to dredge up the past and I don't want to live there. But the fact that we were all able to get together and then talk about the future, right? So it was really beautiful. And I'm sad that I don't like to go back and kind of revisit the past more often, because beautiful things come out of stuff like that. So then I was able to help them kind of reinvigorate and re-inspire themselves, because they were going through some funks by meeting other people. And it just was a really fresh infusion into this networking group that was beautiful, because we networked, right? We started from years ago, and then it grew into this beautiful tree with limbs and fruit, hopefully to come. Right. So, yeah.
A great home run.
That's right. That's right. So coming up in just a few short seconds, we're going to have an amazing guest. This is just one of my favorites. He's got a smile that goes a mile. And it is the great J.C. Beltran, right? He belts one out with this discussion on discipline. So that's coming right up.
Are you a creative or entrepreneur with a business idea that needs just a little bit of help? Purple Cow Branding is the best digital marketing agency for your small business. Whether it be your website, social media, branding, or even video production, we're here to help your business be outstanding. Go to purplecowbranding.com to find out how we can help you. Purple Cow Branding, much more than digital marketing.
All right. I didn't sleep much this week because I was so excited about having J.C. Beltran here. Oh my gosh. This is like a legend in the business efficiency world.
He is brilliant. He is so damn smart. I'm excited to learn something tonight.
And you never know it behind that great Colgate smile, right?
I don't know about Colgate, but I guess I could give Colgate.
And this is the perfect topic for me. Discipline. I know nothing about it. I can't do it. And this is the master guy right here. So I'm really looking forward to getting the tips today.
Yep, absolutely. So when we're talking about discipline, which is our topic for today, when Rob and I are like, oh, discipline, oh my gosh, like discipline equals J.C. Beltran.
Thank you.
Truly, because you are so disciplined in your approach. Such a great gentle style to you, yet you have a very specific system that you put in place and help others to do that too. So in regards to networking, we're hoping we can have a chat on how because networking can feel like, oh my God, you're herding cats.
Absolutely.
Right. And you can waste so much time and get nowhere. So talking about discipline, what are some of the networking disciplines that you've put in place that have really helped you work through the system and have a method?
Sure. Absolutely. Great to be with you amongst friends. I love it.
Yes.
So making sure that you lead yourself. John Maxwell actually gave one of the best quotes on leadership and what leadership is. And he just defined it as influence. And so understanding that you are influencing yourself every day, and with that influence comes a responsibility. And the responsibility is to be purposeful, to be curious and to be engaged, and to follow up, quite frankly, after you go out and network. And so that's part of my discipline, ensuring that I'm purposeful. The one word I guess that I could use would be intentional in what I do. Choosing the networking events that make sense for me and that I have at least a time of preparation so that I'm effective.
Love, purposeful, intentional. Those are all great words. Now, how could somebody specifically, tactically put something purposeful into their networking day? So they go to a networking event or they have a one-on-one. What are some of those purposeful, intentional actions that you implement that somebody else could implement into their day to make them better, to level up?
For me, it starts with creating relationships that are adding value to my networking life. You know, both of you kick out networking calendars. My networking starts about 30 days before the actual networking event, just to make sure that my calendar is free, that I'm able to attend and be present more than anything else. Nothing more frustrating than going and maybe grabbing, if you drink, grabbing a couple of drinks and saying hi to 4 or 5 people, and nothing ever comes of it. With the price of gas the way that it is right now, it's like $60 to go networking.
Yeah.
You better make it worth it.
Yeah.
So being prepared on your calendar.
Okay.
And then figuring out who's going to be there if you've never been there before. And then setting a goal. My goal is to meet 5 people and to at least make contact or collect cards of at least 5 people.
Okay.
Right.
Now I struggle this because I'm a high DI on the disc score, and I'm out to lunch all the time in left field. What would you give me some direction on what should I do like on a daily basis of how to, do I need to write something down, have a plan? What would you recommend for me to do?
Yeah, so I would recommend that you at least have maybe no more than twice a week set aside maybe 15 minutes to ensure that you're following up with people. There's nothing more maddening than going to a networking event, traveling there, and then not doing anything after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you can do that, it does 2 things. It ensures that you're in front of the people that you've met, number 1. Number 2, it helps you because you start wondering about your business. You start wondering and the trash gets in your head, trash thinking, when you're not actively working your business. But if you're connecting with people and people are connecting with you, it's a great thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you.
And the term that you used as well, so I'm going to go back to your initial kind of rollout of what you felt discipline was for you. And you used the term curious, which makes me curious as to why you would associate curiosity with discipline.
I love the word curious because it's engaging. It's an action word. In other words, if I'm curious about people, then I'm going to be engaged. I'm going to find out more about them. I'm going to network in a very purposeful way. I'm also going to be curious about the industry that they're in and ensuring that I'm able to carry at least a 2-minute conversation about something that may interest them.
Yeah.
Right? Be interesting, right? No,
Makes
be
you interested. Yeah, that's right.
Right. We want to be interested before we want to be interesting. But it's tough to carry on a 2-minute conversation if you're just completely not involved in the conversation or don't have any background.
Present.
Yeah.
Present. That was the term. And that's a good term because I do find I'm an offender. Here goes my mind. And they might say something and I'm really thinking about them, just not what they're saying at the moment. Right. So all of a sudden I'm like, oh, so discipline can feel really daunting to a lot of networkers because they give up easily. So how would you recommend somebody through a disciplinary action work through those highs and lows so that they continue on and not give up?
Yeah. Anytime that I'm able to have a conversation or a video call with somebody that I met, just buoys up my spirits. It fires me up. When I hang up, I'm excited about not only what I do, but with the fact that I've met somebody else. So ensuring that you're actively engaged doing that will give you a little bit more of a sort of a level set, kind of a feeling that don't have these incredible highs or incredible lows, but that you're excited about meeting people. And it goes back to that curiosity.
Yeah.
Be curious.
Yeah.
And engage. It's always fun when you go where somebody works or you go to an organization that you've never been to and see how things operate, how things work.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I loved field days. When you go out and visit companies, that was my favorite.
Ooh, that's a good way to look at it. Networking is kind of having a field day.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Again, this is such a problem for me, the discipline factor. In helping me along the way, have you ever use an accountability partner or recommend something like that? Or is there another technique that you use to help someone like me that's all over the place that I got to, refocus and put the blinders on and look forward. What would you recommend?
I would recommend, and I love the word accountability scares people typically.
Yeah.
But we need to be accountable.
Yeah.
The one thing that I would recommend is ensuring that you've surrounded yourself with maybe 5 or 6 people, like I have with both of you, to when you have conversations, you're talking about what you've done from a networking standpoint.
Mm.
So that stays alive.
Sure.
So it's something that you're doing that you're not having to do it out of compliance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're doing it because you've not only maybe found success, hopefully, but you're creating new acquaintances, friends, people that you'll keep in contact, hopefully, for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like a 3-legged race, and you're both moving toward the same goal,
Exactly.
right? Together at the same pace.
Exactly.
So,
And you're learning from each other.
yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome. So one of the things people may not know about you is the fact that he is a brilliant business leader, exec. He pulls apart businesses. He helps them be more efficient and effective, coaches leadership. So you need to connect with JC and spell that last name for us.
Beltran.
Right.
Beltran.
All right. Like the belt that ran, right? So
That works. That'll work too.
I know. On LinkedIn, you need to make sure that you connect with him. And a little known fact about yourself that we'd be like, oh my
A little
gosh.
known fact about myself. I don't know. I've shared this before. I'm a licensed boat captain, keel boat captain.
What?
So yeah.
Aye, sir.
As you were. Permission to board.
I love that. And thank you for your service to our country.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank
we
you.
appreciate you. And say hello to your lovely bride.
I will.
So she'll be on next.
I will, absolutely.
We're going to get Sylvia on
All
here.
right. Very good.
Yes, she's awesome. So thank you. Connect with JC and we'll be back. So JC always is so impressive to me.
Well, he's the smartest guy I know. He's so brilliant.
So, yeah, just the exterior, just the posture. And so talking about discipline, I'm sure a military experience kind of leads into that. I would think.
Definitely.
I would think. So what about JC's discussion on discipline really struck a note with you?
Boy, this is easy to answer because I've just started learning how to use my Outlook and time blocking things. And then when he said, like twice a week, I need to carve out 15 minutes so I can prepare for going to the next meeting, that just resonated with me. That said, yes, I'm practicing that right now. Yeah. I'm going to time block that time out to prepare. So that was really the key for me there.
Yeah, well, I loved so much about what he talked about. So I'm gonna zero in on something that he mentioned because I think it's really important. And I learned this during my radio sales career early on, right? So I was asking about networking fatigue. How can you be disciplined enough to work through that? And he was talking about, getting on a Zoom call and being, excited or curious about what that other person's doing. And so you're pumped up by the end of that. And I'd really encourage all of us, I try to do it, but find those people that edify you, right? Or that you think might edify you and help build each other up through, it could be just hopping on a Zoom. It could just be hopping on a phone call.
Yeah.
And just lifting your spirits up because it can feel very much like a beat down. It can be really trudgery, if that's even a word, drudgery. So it can really feel difficult and you just sometimes want to give up. But if you can work through it and get to that choice conversation that you can really be engaged, intentionally listen in, be curious about what they're discussing, then that's just, that it's like, okay, I can keep going. I can get to the finish line today. So that's what he said.
It's good stuff. And he's the guy to teach it to us.
That's right. Yeah. So networking is nothing if you don't have discipline worked into that.
And I need his help.
I know.
Good reminder today, Cheryl.
All right.
Good reminder.
Yes. So JC, and I'm going to tell you this when you're looking him up on LinkedIn. This is how I had to find him. It's J.C.
Yes.
Beltran. Otherwise, it just didn't come up. So I'm just saying J.C.
And the shortcut here is all you have to do is put in startup Beltran and he pops up.
Okay. Awesome. So JC, thank you for being with us. Can't wait to see you again.
Are you having trouble with your VoIP phone system? Smart Office USA to the rescue. We're a local company here in DFW with real people, certified technicians, and we even come to your office to help you. Smart Office USA, representing the #1 VoIP phone system on the planet. And we are right here in DFW, ready to help you. Call us 214-272-0921 or go to www.smartofficeusa.com.
I wrote down a couple of notes here on discipline that I think are really key. If you want to, you don't have to write them down, but certainly you can. It helps you. If you write things down, you remember them, but they'll also be on the website. So one is working your calendar. I'm really a big fan, and I know you are. So categorize some time just to say, hey, I'm going to do these things on my networking business, right? That portion of your business. And for me, like I block out, I need to follow up with all my networking meetings from the week before.
Yeah.
So I go back through all my notes and make sure I do my introductions, my follow-up, whatever I was supposed to get them. So I make sure that was done. Researching new networking groups, right? Always going in, and so you don't get stale, and sifting and sorting. And successful people do what other people don't want to do.
Yeah.
So do it when you don't feel like it. So you can end up in a great networking event like I ended up with, when I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do my hair.
Right.
But I'm committed. And then I ended up having just a great night.
Yeah.
So those are just a couple of bullets that I put down. A thought you want to leave us with in regards to discipline?
I think for me, it's knowing that it's so hard to do that we need to find an accountability partner to keep us on track.
Yeah.
Because to try to do it from ourselves, yes, we can say that, but you know what? It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We need somebody there, a good friend that will help you, and that's what I'm looking for right now, is to help me become a better disciplined networker, is getting an accountability partner.
That's a great point. And I think when you're looking for an accountability partner, really be careful that it's somebody who's like-minded. Right? Who wants to grow like you do. They're about the same juncture in their business, so that you're going through the three-legged race together.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't feel like you're dragging them. And if you are dragging them, then cut the cord and start over. So don't get frustrated. Yeah. Just move on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we got more great episodes coming up, and we want to hear from you. So go to info@networktodaydfw.com. You'll see it down here. Make sure you add yourself to our email list. What do they get if they're on our email list? So one is Rob's Library. So anybody who knows you knows you're all about the books. He loves paper. And so he reviews a book every week. Good book that's going to be self-help. Me, I'm all about the non-paper stuff, right? I'm all about...
You're the techie. You're the nerd.
And I don't know much about tech, but I try. So I want to hear from you if you've got some tips, but certainly you're going to see some things that I'm working through, that I'm testing out, and you're going to see those bits on there. The other thing you're going to see, if you are looking for new networking groups, we're trying to keep our calendar filled, and you're going to see that link on there as well. So that's the Empowered Advantage. That's my calendar. And you'll see that link on the website again. So networktodaydfw.com. That's the one.
Awesome.
All right. So good show.
Great show.
And hey, I got to give props to my friend Rob Bliss, who knew that my other Smiley cup was cracking. So he bought me this cup. Cheers to you, Bucky.
Cheers.
Bucky. I love his Bucky's. Best bathrooms in Texas.
And we'll see you next week.
This has been a Purple Cow production.